So, I saw my sheriff today. I was coming out of the grocery store. He was going into the grocery store. He was with some young woman, I assume it was his wife. And he had this smug ass grin on his face. And I really do, I got the impression that he thought that I was actually going to confront him in the parking lot of our grocery store in town. And that's not the type of behavior that I've ever liked to engage in. And he didn't understand. What he didn't realize is that I had everything in my car because I had gone out to go get stuff to make a brand new sign for the front of my yard. Because now, instead of having a sign that says Neil Gross, meth heads are bad, my sign is much more specific. It is Neil Gross, protecting child traffickers is wrong. And that is exactly what he did with that whole gas station explosion. Because he was heavily involved, and him trying to blame or put all this shit off onto the fire department is just stupid. He knew the truth, and he protected a bunch of. See, he's lucky that I thought about the children who live in the neighborhood, because the sign that I wanted to put in my front yard was Neil Gross, protecting child killers is wrong. That's the sign I wanted to put up. But I thought that it would better to err on the side of caution. And I have kids in the neighborhood. I don't want to be responsible for traumatizing kids. As such, I feel that if this sign spurs conversation and their kids there ask their parents about it, their parents should tell their kids about it. You know, it's something that maybe is a good thing anymore to tell your kids to be, warn your kids that that stuff might exist. Um, it was interesting that Neil had this smug ass grin on his face because he really, he thinks he has it all shored up. He does believe that he has it all shored up, and in his perspective, he probably does, because, like I said in the video today, I cannot be the first person who has read that report on that Berlin, Iowa gas station explosion. I am not, I cannot be the only one who has seen that report. And the fact that it says that there was one explosion and not two, that's a big red sign right off the bat. Right off the bat. And people just, no one has said a word. In all the years that it has been going on, no one has said a word out loud that I know of about the discrepancies regarding that Berlin, Iowa gas station explosion. The gas station that was right across the street and just a little ways down the road from me. My backyard overlooked basically the gas station. Had that explosion, the first explosion, had it brought down that wall, the 300 plus pound pieces of debris that ended up in a field 9 blocks away on the other side of town, because it shot out the doors of the great big doors of the garage. It shot out those instead of heading towards my house. Had that shit gone the way they wanted it to, that stuff would have hit my house and brought my house down. And that was what it was intended to do. And Neil can, I know he thinks he has everything shored up, but he's protecting child killers, criminals, people who have come into town and he knows it and he knew about it in real time. He's known about all of this, and it's a political year. So, what better time to put a sign out in my yard? And so I have. I put a sign out in my yard, and it's a lot more specific than meth heads are bad. Which, who wants to live beside a bunch of meth heads? You know, it it's a no-brainer. It's a no-brainer argument. So this is going to be a short live video, but I just wanted to come on and actually just be able to show my own demeanor. And yeah, the news reported 2 explosions. I know the news reported 2 explosions because Neil was interviewed by KETV just like I was. But the official report says there was only 1 explosion. And it could have been this or it could have been that, but they don't really know what it is. You know? Mr. Jeffrey from downtown. Hello, I did get your email. I just have not, I've been, I ended up hurting my back on Saturday. The news says there's 2. Yes. The news says there's 2. But the official paperwork that comes from the government office says there's only 1. You can show whatever you want. The report says there was 1 explosion. 1. And Neil sent it to me. You know? I don't understand. Yes, the news says 2. The official paperwork that Neil sent me regarding it says there's only 1 explosion. That there was only 1 explosion. There is a discrepancy between what is written in the official paperwork. I know the news that I was on says that there were 2 explosions because there were 2 explosions. One happened, the bomb that they put in that thing the Saturday before blew up. And then the gas tanks for the gas station didn't blow up until about 9.5 minutes later. That's when that's the second explosion that there's a tape on of. There's a video of. That was the second explosion. That happened 9.5 minutes after the first explosion. And I was interviewed. Neil Gross was interviewed. You know. What are you talking about? Of course the police have this information. Their official paperwork says that there was only 1. The paperwork that they did, that went out to the insurance companies and all that, says there was 1 explosion. What are you not getting with that? That's the reason why this stuff all needs to be exposed. And so because I was getting death threats before. I was getting death threats before that gas station explosion. I was getting all kinds of threats. Neil knew all about it. And the sheriff does not say 2. Dude, I am not arguing with you. The paperwork that Neil Gross sent me says 1. And then when I made an issue out of it, he sent me an email justifying why it only had one, and I put that on video. All of this is documented. It's all documented. That's been the good thing about doing these videos. Do I ever get noticed in public? By some, not many. But I figured that God brings me to the people who need it the most. I get brought to where I'm supposed to be. But I just keep tugging away at this whole situation and trying to get this situation resolved. Because my sheriff, if they would have just left me alone, from friends today, or yesterday and today, they asked me why I didn't just leave. Why can't I just leave all this alone? And people do not understand. When I left Washington to come to Iowa, I took everything offline. I hadn't gotten rid of it yet, but everything had been offline. Because when I left Washington to come to Iowa, I was going to leave it all in the dirt. I didn't want to deal with any of it anymore. And they were waiting for me in Erling and started up the minute I got there. Threats, telling me that things would happen, and then things would happen, telling me that people there were already working with them. And of course people were already working with them. When I was in Erling, someone came in and kicked the shit out of one of my dogs, and it took me 2 months to be able to get her to not be afraid to come downstairs. That's the kind of shit that was going on there. It was constant, non-stop. And then after that gas station explosion, my neighbors moved immediately because they were afraid. And then I got the house in Harlan and was able to at least move out of Erling. And the whole reason why I found out about Neil running a drug operation is because people in town started watching my videos, and I was bitching about the gas station, explaining what my problems were with the gas station. Like Donovan ending up offing himself a week and a half before that gas station explosion. Because it's all connected. It's all connected because they were using Donovan to come after me. And so what were they trying to get him to do with me with regards to the gas station? That's my question. And it bothered him so bad that he opted to kill himself instead of doing what they wanted him to do. I love the new sign, David. Thank you. I was mad about my dog being put out in the sun, in the heat. That's why I did that first sign, because I just wanted something up because I was pissed. And as you can see, the one that said Neil Gross, meth heads are bad. That took me 10 minutes. I broke out a board, I had the spray paint, and I just spray painted it. This one didn't take all that long. But it did take me about a half an hour. And because obviously I had to paint those words, and but it's much more to the point. It's much more to the point, and deals with the issue at hand. There's nothing I can do. A meth head is going to be a meth head is going to be a meth head. But and it's funny because Neil Gross and his dumbass, smug-ass smile today, thinking I was going to confront him in the parking lot of the grocery store. Part of me even wonders if it was even a setup, because that's what I think he thought I was going to do. And it was funny because I was trying to get everything done at the grocery store so I could go home and paint my sign because all this stuff was in my car. And so I had no interest in confronting him because I was getting ready to do a sign that was going to do just that. And and I so he had that smug ass smile, not realizing exactly the whole truth about what was going on. Because Meth Heads was just kind of a, even though when I wrote it, I meant his drug operation. That's what they have on Neil. They had him by the balls when they came into town, and they still do. That's the reason why Thomas Schoenberger will go on and on and on about how he has this working relationship with Neil. You know, they all do if you listen to him, but I believe it more with Thomas than I do the rest of them. And it's because they're all working together to try and shut this down and shut this up. And it is not going to work this time. And I realize that hanging a sign in my yard, the likes of which I do, is unconventional. But do you know that every time I pull into my house, it makes me laugh? That meth heads are bad sign, every time I see it, it made me laugh. So I love my signs. They make me laugh. You know, it's, and the fact that, will they have a difference? Probably not. I live in an area where no one has commented about that gas station explosion. Everybody kind of talks about it like they do the whole drug thing. Everybody talks about it, but nobody really wants to do anything about it. And I found out about the drug thing because people were watching me and what I was saying about the gas station. And so then they started bringing up the drug thing and telling me how there was this drug operation going on. And do I know specifics about it? I know people who do seem to know specifics about it. Do I know? No. And first of all, I'm not Nancy Drew. Second of all, I'm not a fucking undercover cop. You know, I think if I tried to infiltrate their group and figure out what it was, they would know who the fuck I am. You know, just saying, maybe. Maybe because I do videos. I don't know. It's a small town. But like the whole thing with Isaac Cappy, there are people out there who are very good at doing investigations. And they have authority to go through and doing those investigations. And that is who I focus on. And my job is just to shine a spotlight on the shit. And actually just shine a light all over it to show people at least where to look. And because they're very good at getting everyone to run down all these dumbass rabbit holes. And then in the end, everybody just gives up and nothing ever gets done. And so I don't want to do that. I also know that I can't do any investigations because anything that I bring to the table, they're going to go out of their way to try and dismiss and discredit. Out of their way. And so I don't want to be responsible for any of that. Just like today, I start this live thing and this dumbass is saying, no, the police report says there's 1, 2. You know, no, it doesn't. And more than that, I have emails from Neil where he justified the report. So I am not going to run around their stupid ass circles. And I've just now started to feel better because the shit that they're zapping at me does make me feel sick a lot. A lot. And I feel like I've been out in the sun when I'm never out in the sun. And but I ended up hurting my backs last Saturday. And today was the first day that I was actually able to walk around and it didn't twinge. And So I have shit I have to do, and that I want to get done. And running down their rabbit holes and focusing on all of their stupid shit, you know? The thing about Neil is that I appreciate that I'm able to bring this back here. Because the whole Geo Farnsworth and Daniel Dowd going out of their way to let me know that they were in my town when Owen dropped over dead, you know, that is going to get looked at. It's going to get looked at. And all of this stuff. And I know that Neil has a smug ass smile, but it also is, like I said, he went to cop school, but the dude is a dumbass. He's a high school jock and very self-impressed. But just, I don't think he's equipped at dealing with what has surrounded him. Just like none of them are. None of them are. But I know that there are enough people who have been given direction, who have at least questions that need to be answered. And they're not going to go run to Sewer Town or Lucian Greaves, founder of the Satanic Temple. They're not going to look to them for the answers. Oh, they're going to go watch them. I have no doubt. That's the reason why Geo Farnsworth telling me, oh, thanks for letting everyone know who I am. You gave me an audience. I sure the fuck did, dude. But I don't think you're going to like who's watching your shit. That's the whole key to it. Because now people are interested and they're looking. And they're looking hard. And things have shifted and things have changed. This is what I know. I just know that a lot of it is now starting to be looked at. All that's been hidden in the shadows is now being pulled out into the light. And these people are dumbasses. Their egos are so big that they can't see beyond their egos. And they tell themselves that they're always the smartest person in the room and they're cunning and, oh, they're all of that. And while they're telling themselves all of this shit, people are watching them and studying them and they're exposing themselves because their fundamental belief is that everyone else around them is fucking dumb as shit and they're all brilliant. That's their biggest problem. And the video is obvious. 2 explosions. Yeah, the video is obvious, you know? And the fact that that dude was trying to say that, you know, he wouldn't say the police report only says one. He wouldn't say those words because that's what I'm talking about. Yeah, there were 2 explosions, but the official report says there's only one. That's why I've had such an issue with it. Because Dan was able to get out of the gas station, go back in the gas station, get his brother-in-law, who was already injured from the first explosion, and then get them both out to safety before the second explosion leveled the place. So if there's only one explosion, how the hell did that even happen? What, did physics not work early in that day? You know, but the fact that people have to know this, I'm not saying anything that's not new out here. And everyone's just gone on with it. Like, oh, okay, well, we all know it's a lie, but okay, well, whatever, we'll just go on, you know? That's what I don't understand in the whole situation. I don't understand that. Because obviously people know that there are two explosions. KETV reported it. There's a video of the second explosion. And if Neil, I know you watch these and I'm going to send it to you. If I find out that you have changed that report now to two, I'm sending it to the fucking insurance companies. I'm going to do that. Because insurance money has been paid out. And you know goddamn well that the insurance companies already have the first report. The report that you sent me. And then when I confronted you on it, you had all these dumbass explanations as to why it was okay and how it was the fire marshal who had to write the report and you had nothing to do with it. And I've made videos about that, showing screenshots of our email exchange. So I have no clue where you think you're going to go with this. And what was the book you wrote that got a lot of attention? Rabbit Hole, a satanic ritual abuse survivor story. That can be found on Amazon. If you want to read the extended version, everything that I wrote, you can go onto my blog, davidshurter.com, and read it for free. But I'm warning everybody now, I'm taking donations. Because now I owe $250 for the security thing. That's the whole thing. This blog that I pay for, as far as companies consider, it's a website. And most people don't pay to have fucking blogs. They pay to have a website that makes money, you know? And so they don't differentiate my website to everyone else's website. So I have to pay for the domain and I have to pay for hosting. And because they've broken into it, I have to pay for fucking security. That all costs money. And when I started to realize every year I end up having to come, it's just times I'm lucky enough that, like, when I was working downstairs, I put my phone in the freezer and now I've just come downstairs. So I can turn off my light. And so I'll finish this live stream because then I went to look and it was just like, wait a minute, what I just did wasn't done. My phone overheated. It's never happened before. I've never had a thing saying your phone is overheating. But why do I have a feeling they don't like these live chats? That's what I'm assuming, is that they don't like the live chats. With it said, hey, sorry about that. My phone just shut down. It said it was overheating and I had to end up throwing I threw my phone in the freezer. It's never happened to me before, ever. But, it's okay, because I don't want to make this live stream more than an hour. Because TikTok allows you to put on videos now that are up to an hour. And so I want to keep this down to a minimum. Due to what I'm having to deal with in town. And I just feel that what is happening is wrong. And it needs to be exposed. And if it would happen to me, then it'll just happen to any old person. And I am not going to go strategic as ever. Yeah. Basically, I've really had to learn to do most of this stuff. Hey, Demon Saki. Hate the name, but you were amazing to me the other day. Thank you so much. You guys have all been super, super amazing. And it's been really nice. I was all doubled up in pain for several days. I've sprained my back. I was doing weed eating, and my back has hurt. Today is the first day that I've been able to walk around normal. So damn near a week I was out, and thank you. Um, so I was able to walk around finally today. That's why I ended up going and getting that stuff for that sign and doing that sign. And then the wrong, all the red drippy stuff underneath, I did that on purpose. So don't think that I did that and I was just sloppy. I ended up doing that on purpose. I ended up taking it outside and sitting it up, and then blotting paint on there so it dripped down. So it looks like blood, you know? Because what do they think is happening to the kids that are being trafficked? You know, in the end, so the fact that my sheriff actually defended them and protected them with that gas station explosion pissed me off. And the fact that I've gone through what I have gone through now in town and just with everything, I'm just, I've had enough. I've had enough. And I think that I would have been a little bit more pissed off at Neil Gross's smug ass grin today in the parking lot at the grocery store if I hadn't had all of the stuff to make that sign in my car. It just amuses me how stuff works that way. And I hope Neil's campaign is riddled with questions now. Yes. Yes. I I would be willing to bet that's already happening. They all think that um they all seem to have this idea that they work with impunity. And that was his dumbass grin. But thinking about it, maybe his dumbass grin was the fact that he really did not want me to confront him in the parking lot. And I wonder if he was thinking that I was going to confront him in the parking lot, but that's not my style at all. You know, I making a big public display, and that sounds crazy since I'm hanging a sign in my yard, but that's different than the reality television bullcrap that people. Fasting is great. Fasting is great. Yeah, my phone overheated and just everything shut down. I'd never had that happen before ever, and so I came down just to check on stuff, and it said, "Do you want to resume the stream?" And otherwise, it's not saved. Excuse me. Otherwise, it's not saved, and I wanted to have it saved, and I just, this whole child trafficking thing, they can't help but expose themselves. And like I said before, their biggest flaw are their egos. They think they are smarter than every single person around them. And they will lie and say stupid shit that doesn't make any sense and not think twice about it because they think everyone is stupid. And what I have found is that everyone is not stupid. It's the same thing as everyone is not bad. You know, people can say whatever they want about the FBI, but the FBI in September busted that group in New York City. So obviously, some of them are decent, try to do the decent thing because I felt that was a decent thing. It certainly is very helpful for me to have that group busted in September in New York City by the FBI. because now it's easier for me to point out this group and call them out as they are, because they're indicative of the group that just got busted in New York City. And so yeah, there are lights. The thing about it is that God is dragging everything out. Everything that's been hidden is being drawn out into light, just as we were promised. That's the thing about these days, is that you can look and say whatever you want about these days, but God is fulfilling heaven's promises finally. And so if God is fulfilling heaven's promises finally, then the ultimate promise at the end will also be true, obviously. And so it's something to have faith in and believe in. And I do. That's the reason why I won't stop. And I'm glad you guys like my sign. I, I, I'm glad you guys like my sign. It makes me laugh every time I see it. Because I just know that it's just causing shit in town. And so faith is something we've all struggled with. We all struggle. And it's not like the struggles are over. You know? Just the other day I was and I kind of call myself sometimes the angry atheist. Because I believe in God. I'm just mad and just want to be like, fuck you. You don't exist. I know you don't exist. But it's the angry atheist because I know God exists. I'm just, you know, it's like a little kid stomping his feet. Because sometimes this shit gets hard and I throw fits. You know, I, I, I do my, I try to do my best to emulate Jesus Christ, but let me tell you, I ain't gonna be winning no awards for. I won't be teaching anyone how to walk on water anytime soon. I would like to think that I try my hardest, but you know, I definitely fall short sometimes. But that's why I like to come in here because I I get to come in here and have people who actually believe as well. And sometimes, oh my God, that sounds good. They're going to indulge in crab cakes with coconut rice and lemon garlic mayo. Uh, oh, I know God gets my outrage because I always go back. Um, but like I said, I'm in minutes, so I'm not going to stay on here but another 10, 15 minutes so I can get it under 60 so I can get it on TikTok. I have to just be careful because TikTok wants, like, the algorithm doesn't like some of the words I use. I like cold, sticky coconut rice with cream over it. I like that. I love coconut rice though, period. Get coconut and then slice some lime and do some lime over it. Mm. And a little bit of sriracha sauce. Mm. There you go. That could be a meal all in and of itself. So again, my sign is not that I don't believe that meth heads are bad, because I believe meth heads are bad. But I think that my sign that I put out there now is just a little bit more to the point. And the algorithm is very weird. It does not like some of the words I use. And it's not the swear words, but there are certain words that you cannot say. And I understand, I understand. However, it's a pain in the ass, to be quite honest. Because again, what you see is what you get, pretty much all the way. It says, I just did a video on it. It's a short. It's a 15-second short, but it says Neil Gross, protecting child traffickers is wrong. That's what my sign says. And it's a big 5 foot by 2.5 foot sign that I have nailed to my front porch for everyone to see. Will it make any difference? Probably not. Probably not. But at least I just didn't sit back and let it, you know. I just didn't sit back. And I'm not just going to take it up the butt. I've just never been like that. When I was a kid, I had to. I mean, obviously. Yeah, that's the reason why today when I saw him and his big ass, smug ass smile in the parking lot of the grocery store, I realized, go ahead and smile, dickhead, because I would be willing to bet by this afternoon you're going to be hating me all over again. But I do have to say, the smug ass smile in the parking lot was way better than him tailgating an inch and a half away from my bumper all the way for a mile down the main drag. Of course, I live in a small town, but, you know, with the look on his face, if he could shoot me dead, he would have, you know? So I guess that the smug ass smile was better than him tailgating me and terrorizing me on the road. That's why I pulled into the gas station, because I was afraid if I went down a residential area. That's why I won't go to the sheriff's department, because he's busy telling everybody that I'm paranoid schizophrenic. And I'm afraid that if I go to the sheriff's department, he's just going to shoot me and then say I came with a weapon or something. He'll just make shit up, you know? And it's sad that you have to think about stuff like that, but I have to think about stuff like that with this, you know? And this is small town, and they're already saying that the sheriffs face no accountability whatsoever. None. There's very little accountability for the sheriff's department. So it's just scary. It's scary. And that's the reason why if he wants to show up at my house, fine, because I have the cameras, you know? Now there are cameras inside the house. We'll see how that works. A regular person could not get into my house undetected. They couldn't. There's too many weird, different types of cameras. And it sucks that I have to live like this. You know? Sheriff literally stole my car by forging a state title on it. You know, the issue that they have with me is that I've made these videos for so long that I have documentation and I have a history, and people see these videos, and I really do think these videos are making a difference. Today was weird because on the video, it wasn't the video of the new sign, it was the video that I did before, because I did 2 videos today. And I had 18 likes, but only 16 views. So how now do I have more likes? More people have liked that video than who had seen it. I just don't understand that. It's weird to me. But I'm not technologically, I'm not a tech wizard of any kind. I don't even play one on television, like they would say. But it's just to screw with numbers. And what I realize is that, again, it's not the quantity of people who watch these videos. It is the quality. It's the quality of people. It's who's watching these videos. And that is the important part about it. And again, in another sense, it's said, those who have eyes will, and can see will see. Those who have ears who can still hear will hear. And um, otherwise, everyone else is blind. It's just, really has taken me back when it finally occurred to me that I could not be the only person or the first person who has seen that paperwork concerning that gas station explosion. And it happened years ago. I've lived in Harlan now 3 years, and it happened. I mean, yeah, I moved like soon after that. But, and no one has said anything or made any. No wonder the drug operation was able to go on the way it is. The reason why people have told me is because they've seen the videos that I've made that I griped about the gas station. And so that's what happened, was that people were coming and saying, well, there's a drug operation being run around. And I asked people, why hasn't anyone done anything? And people were like, nobody knows what to do. And I don't know what to do, but I sure as hell can assure you that I'm going to try and figure it out. And I paused and read what you showed about it in your short videos and your testimony. Yeah, no worse criminal than the one with the badge. At least he shaved that icky ass beard off. It didn't make him any less criminal, but at least he doesn't look the stereotype now. Because that beard that he had going on was just, oh man, you know, a homeless criminal. That's what he looked like in a suit, in his little cop suit. Just, he really does act with impunity. He thinks that there's going to be no accountability whatsoever. Whatsoever. And they will never get me to confront. I'm not one who confronts, Let me assure you, people who get in that situation where I end up having to deal with you face to face, in person, no one who has ever experienced that has liked it. Because my words are all I need. That's, to be quite honest, my words are all I need. And I have said things to people that they have come to me 20 years later and repeated verbatim what I said to them. I didn't remember what I said, but they sure did. And I don't like to do that. When I was a kid, I would get mad, and it was very... People don't like it when you can reach down inside of them and say what will hurt them. And that was part of the training that I went, to know people's secrets. Not only know people's secrets, but there's something about me that draws it out of people. That's the one thing that my ex hated about me. He told me I was a freak magnet. He said we could go into a room of 30 people, and if there was some crazy, malignant idiot in there, they would find me. And it's true, they do. They find me, and then they'll tell me all of their secrets. I had to go in to therapy and say, what kind of person do these people think I am? That they think that it's okay to tell me the stuff that they're telling me, And then I felt bad because I was judging them. But you want to know what? If you want to go do shit like that, I can't stop you. Just don't do the shit around me. That's all I ask, And I'm just, that's how I look at it. And I would draw these people. Now I realize that it's actually a gift, because in this whole situation, what I feel I am is the Pied Piper. I'm the Pied Piper. But instead of leading the children away,
I'm leading all of those who hurt them and all the people who sat around and thought it was okay to just sit around and watch. I'm leading all of them away. And they ain't gonna like where they get taken. And so I find the reason why bad people come out and seek me out is because they cannot help but bind themselves to me. And all of their weird, evil, shitty, nasty stuff that they do. And they do it to me, but the thing about it is those kind of people, if they do it to one, they do it to all. That's how it works. They're just black holes. They suck all the life out of every soul they come in contact with. So I'm not like, oh, I'm so wonderful. But when they do it to me, they end up binding themselves to me. That's the reason why I always have attracted the worst of the worst in all of this crap. You know? That's the reason why I was able to do what I did with the whole situation with Isaac Cappy as fast as I did. Because that's my gift. They'll just draw the shit out of them. That's the reason why with the darkness. If you have love in your heart, when I talk about the darkness, you should have nothing to fear. But if the darkness gets inside of you, it's going to draw to you that which scares you the most. And do you want to know the one thing that scares those people the most? The one thing, it's all common. All of their secrets. They're terrified of their secrets coming out. And that is what the darkness is doing. It's inside of them, and they're responding and working in a way that's going to expose all their shit. And they're the ones who are doing it. There's no way to stop it, you know? And, yeah, I'm not a bad person and I didn't say anything, but it's happened and it's a weird ass feeling because it makes you wonder what about me drew them to me, you know? What about me drew them to me? What did they identify in me that thought that it would be okay? But it's what I was taught. It was the rituals and the training. Because you want to know what? If I was the psychopath, the evil psychopath they were training me to be as a kid, how great that power would have been. I would have been around a bunch of nasty people and I could tell their secrets or they would tell me their secrets. And then I would have their secrets on them so I could, because that's what they do is that they lord shit over people. That's the reason why it's so much fun to watch because they all know each other's secrets. And God only knows how many of them have set each other up, you know? They were setting people up and filming people in Franklin. They were they were setting people up and filming them with Epstein. They were setting up people and filming people at the P. Diddy place. All of the cameras that were all in around. It's all a thing with them. That's what they do. And it was just... But all of their shit is coming out. And because I'm putting this on TikTok, I'm not going to end this with prayer. And I'm at 55 minutes, and I want to keep it under an hour because they allow 60-minute videos now. So, the whole thing about it is that all of them have... The thing that I feel sorry about with Hunter Biden is the stuff that I've seen of him, he's just a drug addict. He's a drug addict. But if we're going to do one, we have to do them all. So if we're going to look at the drug addict that did what he did, then I want to look at the guy that got $2 billion from Saudi Arabia, especially considering the fact that they had access to all of that classified material. I think that needs to be investigated too. Just saying. I feel sorry for the dude because the dude is just. They have him out to be this criminal mastermind, and yet his life has been nothing but addled with drugs and chaos, you know? And the whole laundry money, that there there's so much corruption going on. There's so much corruption. You know? Take your pick. Take your pick. But if you look in the science news, we keep getting hit with solar flares that they keep saying, oh, it's bigger than we've ever had before. Oh, it's bigger than we ever. Each one that precedes is always bigger than the one we've never had before. We're being cooked. You know? Biden isn't. They're all high up. They're all wealthy. They're all powerful. Which means they're all involved in the system. Not a fucking one of them would be where they were or where they are now, because there are no Mr. Smiths. That includes Biden, that includes Reagan and Bush and Obama and Trump. They're all part of the fucking club. Every one of them. Because they don't let people who aren't part of that club to that point. That's how it works. There are no outsiders in that club. They don't allow outsiders. And just, the sun is cooking us. The sun is cooking us. With that said, I'm out of here because, again, I want to keep this under 60 minutes. So, I'll be doing this again. Go check out my videos. PayPal and Venmo are D Shurter. I need help for security. It's $250 for each one of these. The hosting is about $250. The domain is about $250. The security is about $250. It sucks, and I'm a grifter, but I've handled all of this by myself for how long? Way over a decade, you know, and never asked for help before. But I'm at the point now where, shit, you know, I don't think it's gonna rain. If it does, I'll do a video of it and let everyone know. But I doubt it. But with that said, peace out, guys. Thank you.